Okay, I'm only one person and I don't get sent anything. So what does that tell you? I love eyeshadow palettes. Here we go. First, I'm just gonna start going for it. Okay, so here, I love these. These are the Huda Beauty Obsession palettes. These are mini palettes. They have 9 shadows in it. This is the Ruby, I think it's called, Ruby Obsession. I love every one of these. I've used every one, as you can tell. I think it's like 24 bucks, and it is a great, great little mini palette. I actually have another one. I have the Electric Obsessions, which is the nice bright colors if I want to do something funky. And to be honest with you, this middle one here is one of my favorites. It is so pretty. Love both of these and keeping both of these. This is the Tartlet. I think this was the first Tartlet that ever came out, and then it became Tartlet and Bloom and Tartlet Toasted, but this is the first one. And this is all matte. This is very, very pretty, but guess what? Never do I ever use it. So I'm actually giving this away, which is just so sad because it is really pretty, but I don't ever reach for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass that on. This is the Modern Renaissance from ABH, and I love this. I've used this a million times. This did come undone here. I need to like glue it back together or something, but that's that. This is well loved, if you couldn't tell. Love it, love it, love it. I'm sorry, I'm probably blinding you with the mirror. Love this so much. So obviously I'm keeping it. Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. This was all the rage back in the day because it smelled like peaches, and this is what it looks like. I do like it. I'm not crazy about the peach smell. It's like a funky artificial peach smell to me. But I'm going to go ahead and keep this for now, but I'm not sure. I could see myself maybe letting this go at some point because of the smells. Drives me crazy. This was a purchase that I can't believe I made because it is so pricey, but I love this. Haven't hardly used it enough. This is the Pat McGrath, the Mothership Sublime Bronze Ambition palette. Quality of these shades is amazing, absolutely amazing. And like I said, I just kind of forget to use it, so I need to put that closer in my collection, but I'm definitely keeping it. This is one of my newest palettes. This is the Urban Decay Naked Cherry. I was gifted this from my son and his girlfriend for Valentine's Day, and it looks like this. It's so pretty. And yeah, keeping it for sure. Love it. That's my only Urban Decay palette, by the way. Here's a little mini dose of colors. This is the collection with Katie and Desi. And you guys, I love Desi and Katie, and I love Dose of Colors, and I hated this. Every one of these shades needs to be done with your finger. 2 of them need to be done wet, and it was way too much work for me. This shade is gorgeous. This shade is gorgeous, but I never reach for it because I have nails. It's a pain in the rear. I'm passing it on. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I am. Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. This is, this right here is all mattes. This is your warm, this is your cool, and this is your neutral. I'm keeping it because sometimes I especially want this section for something, especially this shade. So I'm keeping it for now. But yeah, there's the Kat Von D. Now this is one of my favorite palettes. I love this. First off, I love the front. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you could tell, but the jewels, like, they're like holographic. It's absolutely stunning. I love the eye makeup. I love the whole look. But this is what it looks like on the inside. This is the only shade that I did not care for. It was called Cosmos. It was a glitter, and if you couldn't tell, it's already like fallen out of it. So I don't use that, but all these others I do use. This is, I've got some beautiful mattes and then a couple shimmers and stuff. So love this palette. keeping it. This was the Too Faced Stardust palette. This was a collab with Vegas Nay. And this was the bomb.com back in the day, but I just don't reach for it. I used to love this shade and this shade so much, and I just don't reach for it, so I'm going to pass this on as well. This is a mini Wet n Wild palette that had all the bright tones in it. It's called Art in the Street. But now that I have that Huda Obsessions palette, the electric one, I don't need this anymore, so I'm passing this on. This was a JCat eyeshadow palette, a small one that I had bought for these blues, and I can't get them to work very well. They're not very pigmented, and so I'm passing them on. The mini Natasha Denona Lila palette. It looks like this. I love this. A lot of people hated these two shades. They thought they didn't blend very well. I just take my time with them. I do them a little bit at a time and work my way up, and I get them to work just fine. As you can tell, I love the blue, and I'm keeping it. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm not going to pay full price for it, so that's about as close as I get to her palette. Purchase I made, it's from NARS. It's the Stephen Klein palette, and I barely used it. If you couldn't tell, barely used it. So I'm passing that on as well. This is a itty bitty Kylie Cosmetics. This was, I think, in her like peach collection or something, I think. And although this is little, these are beautiful. I put this in the crease, this in the lid, and it's a great everyday shadow. I love the peach tones, and I'm keeping it. It's really, really good. Milk Cosmetics, they make a lot, they have started making a few more of their palettes, but they made a lot of their eyeshadows in these stacks. They're metallic, so they just click onto each other. And this is the Dark Matter stack. So if you look at it, this right here has a mirror. Then this first shade's called Blur, and this is exactly what it's made for. It's to blur any imperfections and smooth out your eyeshadows and stuff. This is a great blurring color, and so love that. This shade is, what do they call this one? Unseen. It's a nice crease shade, darkening the crease. Now this shade's the bomb. This shade's Enigma. Love that color. It's a beautiful burgundy wine color. And the last one is, I think, Dark Matter. But it's a jet black shade. Love these. They're a little cumbersome size-wise because they're just kind of clunky and they don't really fit anywhere. But I really, really love the Melt Cosmetic formula. So highly recommend any of the Melt Cosmetic eyeshadows. Now this one's near and dear to me. Before I started getting really into makeup, I was just starting, and I went to Ulta, and I was so overwhelmed. I didn't know what brands what to do with what, and this was just come out, and it was on a display, and I thought, oh, well, this looks kind of interesting, and this is a double exposure palette. You can use these wet or dry, and it's absolutely beautiful. Mostly cool tones, but you know what? I've hardly ever used it, and I just keep keeping it because of the sentimental value to it, but I'm not going to keep it anymore, so I'm passing this on because this is just wasteful. So I'm going to go ahead and give that away, but that was my very first palette I bought. This is the Kylie Cosmetics I Want It All palette. This was from her birthday collection, I believe, or possibly her Valentine's, one or the other. Anyhow, this is so cute. The packaging alone is so cute. And this is what it looks like. These are darling, and then they have the Too Faced products, the blush and then the highlighter. This is a pretty good palette, and I forget to grab this a lot. I do use this pink shade quite a bit, but I'm going to go ahead and keep this so I continue playing with it. This is a Kylie winter collection of 2016, so this is 2 years old, but this is what this looks like. And again, haven't hardly used it, so I'm passing this on. I have 3 Juvia's Place palettes. These are amazing. If you've never bought Juvia's Place, I highly recommend them. I think they're being sold now at Ulta. I'm not sure if they have the whole collection or not, but they're so inexpensive. So this is the first one I bought. This is the Masquerade palette, and this is the large pan. They finally came out with small pans because these pans are huge. But this is what it looks like. It's got phenomenal quality to it. Look at that. Just amazing. So highly recommend them, and of course I'm keeping it. And then I bought the Magic palette. This one's a beautiful one as well. This is what this looks like. Look at those shades. This shade here is so pretty. One time I matched this up with this, and man, it was a beautiful look. I'll try to insert a picture if I can find it. Beautiful look, these two together. But I forget to use these as well. They get lost in my collection. So I'm definitely keeping it. And then I also bought the Zulu palette. Wait till you guys see this. So pretty. I did a video using this as well. But look at these colors right here. Look how pretty those are. They're so foiled. Absolutely beautiful. The pigments of the matte, unreal. So pretty. So I'm definitely keeping that. Highly recommend Juvia's Place. Okay, do you think this palette's well loved? Oh my goodness, how dirty is it? What were they thinking making a white palette? It is so dirty. But this is the Jaclyn Hill palette she did with Morphe. This is beautiful. Can you look at how filthy mine is? But I use it all the time. Love it, love it, love it. Not the biggest Morphe fan, but I do love this palette. Here's my other Morphe palette. I got this from my son last Christmas. This is the 39A Dare to Create palette. Oops. This is so annoying where it has the shade names on the outside. But this is what it looks like. I forget to use this as well. If you couldn't tell, it's not very used. But very fun. This has all the transition shades, and then you just create from there. And I think it's great. It's got some beautiful pops of color and some beautiful olives, which are great. And then it has a lot of neutrals as well. It's a great palette. This is the NYX Perfect Filter palette, and this is a great little palette. I don't hardly use it. This blue shade is really, really nice, but I'm going to go ahead and pass this on just because I feel like it's being left behind. Okay, here's my ColourPop palettes. Dream Street from Kathleen Lights. I love ColourPop shadows, you guys. I absolutely love them. This one's beautiful. These colors are amazing. This was a collection with Kathleen Lights. Love it. This one was her other collection, the Zodiac. This one's pretty as well. This orange right here is so pretty. So pretty. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, so pretty. Anyhow, love this palette. Disney Designer Collection, the Princesses, is just so cute. Oh my goodness. This color here, if you couldn't tell, I love it a lot. This color is actually a really unique shade. This is the shade Prince Charming. It is the most unique. Like, it looks like it's just going to be like a cream, and it has like a shift of green to it. I don't know if the camera's picking it up at all, but it's a really great color. But this is very nice. It has a lot of mattes to it. And then my newest one is the It's My Pleasure. I did a video with this one. All purple shades, beautiful shades. And of course, I love that. Purple's my favorite color. So I'm keeping all of my ColourPop shadows. This got lost in here because I keep it with my palettes. This is a Becca Jaclyn Hill face palette. It really should not be in the eyeshadow section, but this has the 3 blushes, 2 highlighters. This is Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop. I forget to use this. I need to put this somewhere where I can use it more often, but I am keeping it. The hugest palette. Isn't this Z palette huge? It's actually not a Z palette. It's from the brand called Adept Cosmetics. But this holds 88 single shadows. Isn't it humongous? But what I have in here is all my single shadows. Most of these are Makeup Geek. I do have a couple MAC and maybe a couple ColourPop, but they're almost all Makeup Geek shadows. And I love Makeup Geek shadows. Love them so much. There's some classics here. And so, you know, sometime if you want me to do a video about these, just let me know and I could go more in depth. But, yeah, keeping all of them. Love them. If you couldn't tell, some are already hit panned on. I love the Makeup Geek shadows. I know they're doing some reformulation now, but love these so much. So let's see how we did. Okay, I'm keeping 24, which sounds so crazy. And I'm getting rid of 9. So hopefully that will give me a chance to use these up more often. And that's all my palettes.